I've been a police officer for a little over 9 years now. I've worked days, evenings, and more night shifts than I can count. Anyone who's worn a badge will tell you the same thing. Night shift isn't necessarily more dangerous. It's just more unsettling. This call happened around 2:30 in the morning. Dispatch put it out as a possible burglary in progress. Caller reported hearing movement inside the house. The call disconnected before they could get more information, and all attempts to call back went unanswered. The house was on the edge of our county. No streetlights. Woods on two sides. No close neighbors. When I pulled up, the place was completely dark. No lights on. No cars in the driveway. The first thing that bothered me was the front door. It wasn't forced open. It was just slightly ajar. I radioed my arrival, stepped out of my cruiser, and announced myself loudly. "Police department. If anyone's inside, make yourself known." No response. As soon as I stepped inside, I noticed the smell. Not decomposition, not garbage. It smelled stale, like a house that hadn't been lived in for a long time, but was still being used. The living room was bare. No TV, no pictures, no personal items. Too clean. I swept my flashlight across the wall, and that's when I saw it, scratched directly into the drywall, over and over again, at about chest height. "He can hear me breathe." The same sentence. Dozens of times. That's when I requested backup. I tried to stay calm, but my instincts were screaming that this wasn't a normal break-in. I continued clearing the house. As I reached the base of the stairs, I heard something from upstairs. Not footsteps. Breathing. Slow. Controlled. Like someone standing still, trying not to be noticed. I took the stairs one step at a time, weapon drawn, announcing myself again. At the top was a short hallway with 3 doors. 2 were closed. 1 was open. The breathing was coming from that room. I edged up to the doorway and shined my light inside. It was a bedroom, but there was no bed. No furniture at all, just a single chair in the middle of the room. On the chair sat a small voice recorder. The red light was on. It was recording. I pressed stop. For a few seconds there was silence. Then the recorder started playing back on its own. A woman's voice. Quiet. Shaking. "If you're hearing this..." He didn't leave. Every hair on my arms stood up. I turned around immediately, clearing the hallway again. Nothing. When I turned back toward the room, the chair was no longer facing me. The recorder was now on the floor. I backed out slowly, heart pounding, and shouted again. "Police! Show yourself!" That's when I heard breathing again. This time, right behind me. I spun around, flashlight sweeping the hallway. Still empty. Backup arrived moments later. We searched the house, top to bottom. No suspect. No victim. Later, we learned the homeowner had gone missing months earlier. No signs of a struggle. No evidence of forced entry. The recorder was the only thing left behind. When detectives reviewed the audio, they found hours of recordings. Mostly silence. Occasionally, the woman whispering. Sometimes crying. And sometimes you could hear another person breathing in the background. Closer than it should have been. The case was never solved. The house was eventually torn down. But even now, every time I work night shift and walk into a quiet house, I pay attention to my breathing. Because sometimes you're not as alone as you think.